Horus the Elder, Haroeris the ancient sky and kingship deity. Horus the Elder, also known as Haroeris, is a significant figure in ancient Egyptian mythology, representing an early and venerable aspect of the deity Horus. While the more familiar depiction of Horus is that of the child of Isis and Osiris, avenger of his father's murder and emblem of the pharaoh's divine right to rule, Horus the Elder embodies a more ancient and majestic form of the god. Associated with the sky and kingship, Haroeris predates many of the myths that later came to dominate the Horus narrative. Understanding Horus the Elder is essential for comprehending the evolution of Egyptian religion and the symbolic representation of kingship throughout the dynastic periods. Origins and genealogy of Horus the Elder. The pre-dynastic beginnings. The worship of Horus the Elder dates back to pre-dynastic Egypt, indicating his profound antiquity in the Egyptian pantheon. Unlike the later Horus, who is predominantly known as the son of Isis and Osiris, Haroeris is often considered the son of Nut and Geb, positioning him as a sibling to Osiris, Isis, Set, and Nephthys. This genealogical placement is crucial, as it situates him within the Heliopolitan creation myth, a foundational narrative for Egyptian cosmology and theology. Haroeris' association with the sky is symbolized by his depiction as a falcon or a man with a falcon's head. The falcon, a bird of prey that soars high and sees all below, honors his role as a sky god and divine overseer. In some representations, he is adorned with the double crown of Upper and Lower Egypt, symbolizing his dominion over the unified lands and his integral role in the kingship ideology. Mythological context and roles. In the mythological context, Haroeris plays a significant role in maintaining Ma'at, the concept of truth, balance, and cosmic order. Unlike the younger Horus, whose mythos is steeped in the drama of his battle with Set, Haroeris' narratives are more focused on his rulership and protection of the cosmos. He is seen as a stabilizing force, embodying the ideal qualities of kingship that later pharaohs aspired to emulate. Iconography and symbolism. Depictions in art and architecture. Horus the Elder's iconography is rich and varied, reflecting his significant status in the Egyptian pantheon. Commonly depicted as a falcon or a falcon-headed man, Haroeris is often shown wearing the double crown of Egypt. This representation signifies his rule over both Upper and Lower Egypt and his association with the pharaoh, who was seen as the earthly incarnation of Horus. In temple art and architecture, Haroeris is frequently depicted alongside other major deities, emphasizing his importance in the divine hierarchy. His imagery is found in some of the most ancient and revered temples, highlighting his long-standing worship and the continuity of his cult throughout Egyptian history. Symbolic significance. The symbolism of Horus the Elder extends beyond his role as a sky god. As a deity associated with kingship, Haroeris embodies the principles of leadership, justice, and protection. His falcon form signifies keen vision and the ability to oversee and protect the realm, qualities essential for a pharaoh. Additionally, the double crown he wears symbolizes the unification of Upper and Lower Egypt, a key aspect of his role in legitimizing the pharaoh's rule. Religious practices and worship. Temples and cult centers. The worship of Horus the Elder was widespread in ancient Egypt, with numerous temples and cult centers dedicated to him. These sites were not only places of worship, but also centers of political and cultural significance. Temples such as those at Nekhen, Hierakonpolis, and Edfu were major centers of Haroeris' cult, where rituals and ceremonies were conducted to honor him and seek his protection. Priestly functions and rituals. The priesthood of Horus the Elder played a crucial role in maintaining the cult and performing the necessary rituals. These rituals often involved offerings, prayers, and ceremonies designed to invoke Haroeris' protection and ensure the stability of the realm. The priests acted as intermediaries between the deity and the people, facilitating the flow of divine favor and guidance. Festivals and celebrations. Festivals dedicated to Horus the Elder were significant events in the ancient Egyptian religious calendar. These festivals often included processions, feasting, and elaborate rituals designed to celebrate and renew the divine order. The Feast of Horus, for example, was a major festival that reinforced the connection between the god and the ruling pharaoh, highlighting the deity's role in legitimizing and protecting the monarchy. Theological interpretations and influence. Haroeris in the Heliopolitan theology. Within the framework of Heliopolitan theology, Horus the Elder occupies a central position. As the son of Nut and Geb, he is part of the Ennead, a group of 9 deities that includes some of the most important gods in the Egyptian pantheon. This theological structure underscores his significance and highlights the interconnectedness of the divine family. Influence on later deities and mythology. Horus the Elder's influence extends beyond his own cult. His attributes and mythology have significantly shaped the portrayal of later deities, including the more familiar Horus, son of Isis and Osiris. The themes of kingship, protection, and cosmic order associated with Haroeris are echoed in the narratives of these later deities, illustrating the enduring impact of his cult on Egyptian religion. Comparative theological analysis. The theological interpretations of Horus the Elder often focus on his role as a maintainer of cosmic balance and a symbol of divine kingship. In contrast, the modern Horus theology emphasizes his role as a heroic avenger and restorer of order. These differing theological perspectives highlight the evolution of Horus' character and the varying aspects of his worship over time. Comparative analysis with modern Horus. Differences in genealogy and roles. One of the key differences between Horus the Elder and the modern Horus lies in their genealogies and roles. Haroeris, as the son of Nut and Geb, is a sibling to Osiris, Isis, Set, and Nephthys, placing him at the heart of the creation myth. His role is primarily that of a sky god and a symbol of kingship. In contrast, the modern Horus, known as the son of Isis and Osiris, is characterized by his role as the avenger of his father's murder and the restorer of order, emphasizing themes of conflict and resolution. Iconographic and symbolic differences. The iconography of Horus the Elder typically features the double crown, representing his rule over a unified Egypt, and his falcon form, symbolizing his sky dominion. The modern Horus, however, is often depicted as a child or a young man with a sidelock of youth, symbolizing his innocence and future rise to power. These differences in depiction reflect their distinct symbolic roles within the pantheon. Mythological and ritualistic variations. The mythological narratives of Haroeris focus on his sovereign role and his maintenance of Ma'at, whereas the modern Horus myths are centered on his battles with Set and his quest to avenge Osiris. Ritual practices for Horus the Elder often emphasized his protective and kingly aspects, while those for the modern Horus celebrated his victory over chaos and his establishment of rightful rule. Historical evolution and cultural impact. Evolution of the Horus archetype. The archetype of Horus has evolved significantly over the millennia, reflecting changes in Egyptian society, politics, and religion. Horus the Elder represents the earliest form of this archetype, embodying the ideals of kingship and cosmic order. As Egyptian culture developed, so too did the Horus mythos, leading to the more dynamic and heroic narratives associated with the modern Horus. Influence on kingship and governance. The concept of divine kingship in ancient Egypt was heavily influenced by the mythology of Horus the Elder. Pharaohs were seen as the living embodiment of Horus, and their rule was legitimized through their association with the god. This connection reinforced the divine right to rule and the sacred nature of the pharaoh's authority. Cultural and religious legacy. The legacy of Horus the Elder extends beyond his role in ancient Egyptian religion. His symbolism and mythology have influenced various aspects of Egyptian culture, including art, literature, and political ideology. The enduring nature of his worship highlights the deep cultural and spiritual significance of Haroeris in the Egyptian consciousness. Modern interpretations and relevance. Horus the Elder in modern scholarship. Modern scholarship has provided new insights into the worship and significance of Horus the Elder. Archaeological discoveries, textual analysis, and comparative studies have deepened our understanding of Haroeris' role in ancient Egyptian religion and his impact on subsequent cultural developments. Contemporary cultural references. Horus the Elder continues to be a figure of interest in contemporary culture. His imagery and mythology appear in various forms of media, including literature, film, and art. These modern interpretations often draw on the rich symbolism of Haroeris, highlighting his enduring relevance and appeal. Relevance to modern spirituality. In addition to his cultural impact, Horus the Elder holds relevance for modern spirituality. Some contemporary spiritual practices draw on ancient Egyptian mythology, including the worship of Haroeris. These practices emphasize the timeless nature of his attributes, such as protection, kingship, and cosmic balance. Conclusion: Horus the Elder, or Haroeris, represents a foundational aspect of ancient Egyptian religion, embodying the principles of kingship, protection, and cosmic order. His worship and mythology laid the groundwork for the later and more dynamic narratives of Horus, highlighting the continuity and evolution of Egyptian religious thought. By examining Haroeris in depth, we gain a greater understanding of the complexities and enduring significance of the Horus archetype in ancient Egypt.